everyone, this is Miss Lily. I'm here to help you get started on solving algebraic expressions. You should have your guided notes. You can either print those or you can write them out, but you do have to submit your notes in my class. So if you have not prepared to do that, go ahead and pause this video, get what you need to take notes, and then you can start it back. All right, if you have what you need, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to look at the definition of an algebraic expression, okay? An algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase made up of numbers and variables, okay? An expression does not have an equal sign. An equation has an equal sign. So an expression is something that we're going to simplify, and when a little bit later, when we get to equations, then we solve equations. So just something to be aware of as we move through. All right, substitution property. If A equals B, then A may be replaced for B in any expression. Okay, so we will be substituting numbers for variables sometimes so that we can simplify expressions. All right, evaluating expressions. To evaluate an expression with variable replacements, you're going to substitute the variables with the given values. Each time you substitute a variable with a number, put parentheses around the number. Follow the order of operations to evaluate. All right, at any point, if these videos go too fast, all you need to do is hit pause or rewind, and you can watch these as many times as you want so that you can get everything in the notes. All right, real quick, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. PEMDAS. So if you have forgotten the order of operations, that's the easy way to remember it. You may want to put that on the side of your notes as well. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. So you always have to use order of operations when simplifying expressions. All right, example 1, evaluate each expression using variable replacements. So the first thing I'm going to do is say in place of A, I'm going to put a 2. I'm going to put it in parentheses because that's what it says to do. I'm going to put 4. I'm going to substitute 4 in place of B. B is squared, so I'm going to square 4. And then plus C. In this case, C is 7. All right, now order of operations says I do parentheses first, then exponents. So I'm going to bring down my 2. 4 squared is 16, and then plus 7. 2 times 16, multiplication comes before addition. So I'm going to do 2 times 16, which is 32. And then plus 7 is 39. So when I simplify this expression, I get 39. All right, since number 2 is very similar to number 1, I'm going to skip it. If you need the extra practice, you should go ahead and work that one on your own as well. If you work it out, you should get 20. Okay? All right, let's go on to example 3. Example 3 says take A and square it. So we're going to take 3 and square it. We're going to multiply that by B, which in this case is negative 4, and then minus, and then B squared is negative 4 squared. So make sure you realize that this negative is already part of the expression, so that's why it's here. And then B is also negative, so it's inside the parentheses. All right, so in order to do this one, we're going to do parentheses first. Since everything is in parentheses, we go to exponents. Exponents is, so we got 3 squared, which is 9, times negative 4, minus, keep the negative there, it's part of the expression, don't lose it. And then negative 4 squared is 16. So you can put that in parentheses, or in this case, once you square the number, if you want to lose the parentheses, it's okay. Regardless, you've still got that negative there that came from the expression. All right, 9 times negative 4, negative 36. Bring down your negative 16. I'm adding two negatives, so I'm going to have negative 52. Okay. Number 4 is very similar to number 3. So again, I'm going to give you the answer here. If you want to go through it, if you have any questions, you can contact me and I'll be happy to go through it with you. Number 4, if you work it out, you should get negative 161. And I wrote that kind of sloppy, so let's see if I can do a little bit better. All right. All right, number 5 says we have a negative, and then we're going to replace y with 2. We're going to square it, minus 3 times x. X we're going to substitute with negative 4, and then times y. We're going to substitute 2 in place of y. All right, so we're going to bring down the negative. We're going to square 2, which is 4. And here we've got 3 things that are multiplied together, so this is associative property. The order doesn't matter, but a negative times a negative, remember that's a positive number. And then I'm still multiplying that by 2. So for number 5, I'm going to bring down my negative 4 plus 24. Negative 4 plus 24 is 20. And I apologize, my writing is hard to read. Still getting used to the stylus pen. All right, number 6 has a fraction, so I'm not going to skip it. I do want to have you pause the video and try to work it out first. And then once you get an answer, start the video back so that you can see if you did it correctly. The best way to learn how to do these is by trying to do them on your own. And then if you get stuck, let me help you through it. All right, hopefully you took time to go ahead and try to work this on your own. Now we're going to look at this. So I've got negative y, I'm going to replace with 12. Sorry, negative 12 squared. And then minus 3 times x, in this case, x is a fraction, and then times y, which is negative 12. All right, so for this one, I'm going to bring down my negative again. I'm going to square negative 12. Remember, a number squared is a number times itself, so that number is always going to be positive. But the negative from the outside is still there. All right, so now I've got 3 things that are multiplied together. I can multiply these in any order, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to make this a fraction, and then I'm going to say I can reduce to 3 and the 6. I can reduce these because they are both multiples of 3. So anything from top to bottom I can reduce. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 2 times. Now, fractions, you multiply across the top. Remember, when you multiply a negative times a negative, it becomes a positive. And then 1 times 5 is 5 over 2. So I'll bring down 5 halves. And then I still have to bring down my negative 12. Now, you can use a calculator, but I really encourage you to try to use just some normal brain power to get some of these answers. So 5 halves is 2.5 times. So basically I need to take negative 12 and multiply it 2.5 times itself. Well, twice negative 12 is negative 24. And then half of 12 is negative 6. So negative 12 and, negative 24 and negative 6 become negative 30. And I get that fractions kind of confuse some people, and I'm very much for you checking it on your calculator, but I definitely want you to be able to think through the process and be able to do some of these without your calculator. All right, guys, since number 7 and 8 are very similar, except in 8, these have negative numbers and these are positive, I'm going to give you the answer to number 7, which is negative 25. And again, if you want to try this, and then if you have questions, just let me know. So for number 7, the answer is negative 25. This just saves us a little time. All right, so on 8, we've got a squared, so negative 3 squared, put it in parentheses, plus b squared, which is negative 5 squared. And then we're dividing by a, which is negative 3, and minus b, and b is negative 5. All right, order of operations. Again, we're going to do parentheses first, so negative 3 squared is 9. Let me write that a little bit better. All right, 9. And then plus 5 squared is 25. So we're just simplifying within this expression until we get it completely simplified. Then I have negative 3. And then negative times a negative is plus 5. Then I can add. These are on top, so I need to go ahead and combine these. 9 plus 25 is 34. And then negative 3 plus 5 is 2. Half of 34. 34 divided by 2 is the same as half of 34. That means when we simplify this, you get 17. All right, moving on. Again, if at any time you need to pause this, everybody takes notes at different speeds. So if you need to pause this and look at something while you're taking notes, go right ahead. All right, x is 2. 2 squared minus 2 times x. In this case, x is 2. And then minus y, which is negative 2. And then minus z, which is negative 3 cubed. All right, order of operations. All right, so we got 2 squared, so that's going to be 4. And then we're going to work inside our parentheses out. So I'm going to bring down my negative 2, and then 2 minus 2. Wait a minute, y was negative 2. Sorry about that, I lost a negative right there. So x is 2 minus y minus negative 2. So I'm going to have 2 plus negative and a negative, make this plus 2, and then minus 3 cubed. All right, and again, I lost my negative there too. All right, minus is already in the expression. Z is negative 3, so negative 3 cubed will be actually a negative this time, because negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 is negative 27. All right, so 4 comes down. I've got 2 plus 2, which is 4. Do parentheses first. And then a negative and a negative becomes plus 27. So 4 minus 8. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Plus the 27 is going to be 23. All right, we are running out of time here, so I'm going to give you the answer to this one is 24. And then we're going to move right on to the... All right, to save just a little bit of time, I went ahead and wrote this one with the numbers substituted in. So we've got a negative. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. Minus 2 times 3 is negative 6 times the negative 3. And then minus, and if you remember, absolute value becomes positive, so that's a positive 3 now. So negative 4, negative 6 times negative 3 is plus 18. So I'm going to have 4 plus 18, negative 4 plus 18, sorry, which is 14, and then minus 3, which is 11.